In the whipping, I'm whipping the soul out it. Change the tone when I'm fasting like Pilates. Why you frontin', you act like you somebody. Keep a trail in the ville, how I go by it. I was stuck in the rut, I was nobody. I've been looking for something to go body. There's an art to the hustle like yo got it. Kid got a kick back and hit like a new shotty. In the whipping, I'm whipping the soul out it. Change the tone when I'm
Yo, what is going on, Titan Clan? It is your boy, King Titan X here, back with another video, and this time with special effects, voice effects, as you can tell.
And before we start the video, I would just like to say that I have a Discord, and I will leave the link in the description for you guys to join. That, and I might leave in the comments as well, but just look more so in the description. Anyways, time to get into the video.
Issei had found himself in a new form. This one felt complete. The strength of both divine dividing and boosted gear. It was truly the complete package, his final form. He didn't know why though, but even with the two powers combined within him, he still felt like he could do more, that he could continue to grow and unlock more from here. For now, he would like to play around with his powers.
Issei was high in the sky right now. He looked down to see a stunned crowd, which included Vali. Even with the helmet covering his face, Issei could tell that the other boy held fear within his heart. His body posture gave it away. He was about to shoot towards Vali, but someone pulled the White Dragon Emperor away from his reach. He hissed as he landed on the ground. He picked himself up and brushed off his newly formed suit. It was fairly slim for armor, not really all that bulky, but at the same time it also had a more alien-like design to it. Less edges, but more rounded, except for the claws. Even the head was more rounded, but the suit remained draconic in nature. Issei kinda liked the design, but that was besides the point. He looked up to see Azazel with his hand up, signaling for the boy to end the fight. Issei wanted to pummel Vali a little more, but he wouldn't get anything out of it. Maybe for a short time, but it wouldn't benefit him in the long run. He sighed and transformed down to the armor. He collapsed with little energy left. Frieza and Akeno grabbed Issei before he could hit the floor though. Frieza felt that there was something off with Issei's aura earlier. And what was with the different sets of armor he had? Sure, she heard about the Red Dragon Emperor having multiple forms, but they didn't necessarily look like that, and why were they colored differently too? She would have to find out about it later, but her main concern right now was to care for Issei. He was unconscious after all. He was sent to a room to recover his energy after the fights he had. He was asleep for a while, and the peerage were beginning to fear he had fallen into a coma. Even with osseous healing, it did little to nothing to really change Issei's condition. While this was going on though, Zenobia had been shunned from the church after finding out about their secrets. She was recruited by Riesa's peerage though as a knight and reincarnated as a devil. Unfortunately, her leaving the church caught the attention of Arena. She didn't necessarily know the true reasons behind why she was leaving, though. Unfortunately, the two former friends departed on pretty bad terms. It was time for a fresh start, though, and Zenobia's books. No more secrets. She was honestly quite sick of it. By the time Issei had awoken from what seemed to be an eternal slumber, Kiba was there sitting by his bed, informing him of everything that he had missed. He had also woken up at just the right time. Issei was confused at what he meant, but Kiba just pulled him by the collar and dragged him out of the room. "Hey, let go!" Issei yelled. Kiba stomped and released his grip on Issei's collar. The albino boy smoothed his clothes and fixed his collar. He sighed. "Now, what's going on? Why were you dragging me just now? You know much better than that, after all," Issei asked. Sorry. It's just that there's a meeting taking place between the three factions. They're trying to make a peace treaty, but they want both the Red and White Dragon Emperor there as well. We informed them of your condition at the time, but since you're up now, let's go." Issei was still confused, but figured it would be better to just ask the questions later on when they had more time. Right now, things were urgent. A peace treaty between the three factions. He never thought he'd hear the day. It was hard to believe, but when they got there, Issei saw the leaders of each faction sitting around the table. Vali was off to a corner of the room with his arms folded. As soon as he saw Issei, he turned his head to the window with his head up. Issei supposed the guy didn't want another beatdown. It must have honestly been quite humiliating for the White Dragon Boy to have challenged him and then immediately get thrashed on. He was brought out of his thoughts, though, when he was directed towards a seat in front of Azazel and the other faction leaders for the Angels and Devils. "So, tell me, Issei, you want peace between our factions, right?" Azazel asked. I mean, yes. Sorry, I'm a bit overwhelmed right now. I'm just getting all this information crammed onto me. Issei tried to explain. "You sound uncertain. Allow me to give some reasons for why peace may be the best option here. For one, you see Ria's right there? You like her, right? Sarzek's little sis? Don't lie, man. I've seen the way you look at her. And I heard what you did with her in order to cancel a marriage between her and Riser." Issei's face paled. This man was a whole snitch. He tried signaling for him to keep some of this stuff hush-hush. Bro code for crying out loud. Azazel just chuckled. "I'll tell you what. You could do a lot more of that if we were to make peace. After all, we wouldn't be focusing on war anymore, and instead, we'd be focusing a lot more on reproduction. Basically, for a while now, We've had to reincarnate people into our factions, but we're trying to go the more natural route as well to keep the bloodline strong. If you get what I'm saying. Issei simply nodded. He also wanted peace, so it would be easier for him to practice with his new power and rise in the rankings. So his next seat was what he desired, the leader of the Devil's faction. He liked that title. It would be his one day, and he would prove that he deserved it one way or another. Even if they had to go to war, he would be an indomitable force. But peace sounded more fun for certain reasons. We can also further our technological advancements and create even greater generations. After all, that aura you released the other day was odd. It wasn't like that of Drake or Albion. It was something else entirely. It felt kinda familiar though. Although it was entirely separate from any of the factions or dragons. I can't point my finger on it though. We'll figure that out later. For now, let's sign that peace treaty. After all, both our dragon emperors also agreed to the treaty, so what are we waiting for? Michael insisted. Right when everyone was about to sign the treaty though, something happened. A strange sensation enveloped everyone. Almost all the people in the room were frozen except for the faction leaders, the two heavenly dragons, Rias, Grafia, Kiba, and Zenobia. Rias recognized this sensation though. She knew that something was wrong. And she needed to attend to her first bishop, Gasper. You had a second bishop? Issei questioned. No time to explain. We need to find him immediately. Rias yelled. There was a spare rook piece in the club room that Rias and Issei used in order to use some move castling. It allowed them to switch places with the thing. Right when they left though, a magic portal appeared with a new opponent. She introduced herself as Kateria Leviathan before informing everyone of the fact the Chaos Brigade the Chaos Brigade and the Old Satan faction were allying with each other. She planned on killing everyone in this room so that she could take over Seraphal's place as Satan Leviathan, a status that she rightfully deserved. It was her birthright after all. The faction leaders weren't going down without a fight though. Even Kiba and Zenobia pulled out their weapons, prepared to handle this menace. Cerzex ordered for them to deal with the magicians though. Azazel would take care of Kateria. Michael and Cerzex would deal with maintaining the barrier. Grafia was putting her best efforts in discovering the transfer magic the magicians used to get here. As the battle between Kateria and Azazel continued to intensify, Azazel and Rias would have ended up finding themselves fighting off female Nilram magicians. On the bright side though, they managed to locate Gasper. He was a great asset in battle, thanks to his time-stopping ability, in combination with Issei's special move armor dismantled, they were practically unstoppable. They were easier to knock out. They were easier to knock out now, and the trio tied the group up afterwards, with Gasper now in their protection. They made their way back to the main battle. Issei began boosting from here on out in order to make sure he was absolutely strong enough to deal with any potentially stronger opponents. He didn't want to show off his full strength yet, but boosting himself for now wouldn't be too bad of a thing to do. Besides, he could probably just send the power to his teammates instead. Once they'd arrived, Vali had just revealed the reason for his betrayal and his lineage. He was only partly human, and he was also the descendant of Lucifer himself. When he saw Issei, his eyes narrowed. "And you, Issei Hyodo, are nothing but a regular human who was reincarnated into a devil. I don't know what made you so strong, but I believe that was just a fluke in our last matchup. I was unprepared for your speed after you defeated Kokobio, but I can assure you that a lowly, pure-blooded human like yourself will crumble before my hands now. And you want to know what I'll do after I'm done with you? Your family, and all of those precious to you, those that you prize so much, will die by my hands as I force you to watch. Only then would you truly be worth my..." Issei balled up his fists. He was livid, but he could feel something poke around in his head. A voice made himself heard.
A crossbreed like him deserves to be put in his place, don't you agree? That beatdown from last time didn't seem to make it clear to him enough what the standings of power are. So why don't you take a little bit more power here? Or good measure, you could say, and announce what you truly are. My reincarnation, the reincarnation of Lord Frieza.